Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make games with the Scratch game engine. Now if you don't know what Scratch is, basically it's you go to this site for it. It's an online editor, online game editor where you don't even have to literally type any code. Like, just let me show you. So you can look at other people's. Something cool with Scratch is that you can go on someone's game, right? And then you can click remix, and then when you click remix, let me just do this for example. Then you will have that game, but you can make your own little tweaks to it. So yeah, I think that's cool. My Scratch page will be in the link in the description, and yeah. So let's start. You can start by hitting the create button first after making an account. Hit create, and then boom. The cool thing with Scratch is that instead of having to type in the code and stuff, there's literally code blocks. So I'll teach you through motion, looks, sound, events, control, sensing, operators, variables, and my blocks. I'll teach you how to do all of them. So let's start with motion. But first we'll have to go to events, because the first thing you need is when flag is clicked. What when flag is clicked mean is when you click this. This is basically how you start Scratch games. So let's go back to motion. Now there's a few things. I'm just going to go over each of these blocks. Obviously, move 10 steps is basically when flag is clicked, he'll move 10 steps forward. And so now, let's go, if you go negative 10 steps backwards, then he will go backwards. Which I think is pretty cool. And then you can do negative 30, let's do negative 100, and you'll move big steps. So I think it's cool. So let's just we'll talk about this block later, but I'm just gonna need it for now. Okay. Now the next blocks, because they're basically the same things, are turn right 15 degrees and then turn left 15 degrees. So basically, let's test this out. When put it in there, turn 15 degrees. When flag is clicked, boom, it'll turn this way. But then if you go here and then take this block, then it'll turn 15 degrees the other way. And the direct, let's start on here. These sprites. So, no, first, I'll teach you about the sprites later. Let me tell you about the blocks. So basically, you can put more than one block in there, and since it's turning left and then turning right at the same time, it's not going to do anything. So now go to random position. Now you can go. Now when you click it, you'll see that he'll go to a random position. And so I'm just going to set him to 0, 0, which is basically right in the center. And that's not all. You can go click to mouse pointer, and he'll go to the mouse pointer, but obviously not really effective because my mouse pointer's up here and I can't really, so yeah, so it's kind of not gonna work like that. So yeah. So yeah. And also wait, let me just, for an example, there's a bunch of sprites here. So there's animals, people, fantasy, dance, music, sports, food, fashion, and letters. I'm just gonna do animals, so bear. Let's put the bear down here. If you hit go to, first of all, you can click between these two and they can have their own separate codes. So I think that's cool, but we'll worry about one for now. So when I hit go to mouse pointer, you can go to bear, and then it'll go to the bear. You won't see him, but he's there. So let's just get rid of the bear and go to 0, 0. Now the next thing is go to, and then the X and Y. Basically, this is telling it where to go. And so if I go up here, 150, let's just do 150, and then the other one, 127. If I bring this to 0, 0, then I click this, then he'll go there. So let me just put this back in. And then you can just go here, 0, 0, then he'll go to the middle. Alright, now glide 1 second to random position. You can glide any of them, but then random position mouse pointer. If you add another sprite, you can also do it this way too. So when you go to mouse pointer, of course, it'll glide there instead of just move there. Right? If I glide to a random position, then he'll glide to a random position. I think that's pretty cool. Let's go to 0, 0 again. Now I'm just gonna have a block out here that brings him to 0, 0. So basically, if you just have a lone block without this, if you just click on the block, then it'll do that block. And if you have multiple, then it'll do that as well. Turn negative 2 degrees. Oh, that doesn't work. There we go. All right. Next is glide to position. So now you can set a position, a specific position for him to go to. So I'm gonna just go 100, 100. And once flag's clicked, he'll go there. Which, it's good. Point in direction. So basically, down here direction is 90, which is basically him front facing normal. But if I do let's say negative 90, then when I click it, then he'll go like that. Let's just set it to normal 90. Boom. Nice. Now let's go to point towards. So this would mean that he'll point towards mouse pointer or toward a sprite if you have it. Let's just set him to 90 degrees. All right. Now change x by 10. No, change x by and change x by, set x to, change y by, set y to. These are basically the go-to blocks, but separately, so that you don't have to do both of them. If you just want to change the x or change the y, then you can just click one of these blocks or set it to a certain position. Set the x to a certain position, set the y to a certain position. I think it's pretty cool, so that you have more customization. If on edge bounce, meaning that if it I'll tell you more about this block later, but if it moves and then it goes to a side, then it'll bounce off of it, which I think is pretty cool. Set rotation style. Now I don't really know much about this block. So I don't even know. I've never even seen this block, so you'll probably just have to look up a tutorial on that one because I don't know. And then I'll tell you more about these circle blocks later. So let's go on to looks. Now, there's a few looks. Now, there are a few of them. Say for a certain amount of seconds, just say it. Think for a certain amount of seconds, or just think it. So when it says something for a specific amount of time, it'll say hello for 2 seconds, and then it'll stop. But if you just say hello, then it will forever say hello until something else happens. Same with think, which just puts the little circles, and then just the normal think, which will do it forever until another code is there. Okay, now costumes. Now switch costume to next costume. These are the two costume things. So switch costume to number 2 is basically if you go up here to costumes, then your sprite will have more than one costume. And this one is him moving. So if I click this, then he'll go to this one. And then if I go here and bring him to costume 1, then he'll go back to his original position. And next costume is just bringing him to his next costume. And then how many times you do it, bring him to his next costume. Now, backdrops. So if you go over here to stage and then click on the stage, you can have backdrops. And if I just choose a backdrop, it'll look like baseball. Let's do baseball. So now, if I go to code and then I go here, set backdrop to backdrop 1, which means it'll bring him to this. But if I switch it to baseball 1, then boom. And also, I could do next backdrop. So it's basically like that. When you go to the next backdrop. Nice. And now change size. Change and set size. Now the size is 100, which is its default, but you can put it by 10, and then it'll change its size. Let's just change it back to 100 here. And then if you hit set size, you can set it to 300. Let's just say. Boom. Now there are limits. Like if I try setting it to like 500, it only goes up to Oh, it goes up to 500? Okay. Well, let's try 1000. Yeah, 540. It will not go any higher than that. So, yeah. Depending on what kind of sprite it is. Oh wait. Yeah, whatever. Depending on the sprite, it might go to different levels of size. So, yeah. Now, change color effect. Now, there's a few effects like color, fisheye, whirl, pixelate, mosaic, brightness, and ghost. I'm not going to tell you all of them, but if I hit change color, then obviously it'll change color every time. Well, apparently it won't change color every time, but yeah. If I just hit set color to 0, then it'll just bring it to normal. Like I can set it to like 500 or something, and then boom, he's blue. So yeah, if I just set it to 0, he'll be his default color. Now, clear graphic effects is basically like let's say I change the color and now it's green. But if I click clear graphic effects, then it will bring it back to normal. If I hit show and hide. If I click hide, then he'll disappear. But if I click show, then he will appear. Go to front layer. Now this only works if you have multiple sprites. But if a sprite that you don't, if you want to go behind this guy, if the sprite that you want to go behind him is in front of him, then you can set this guy to go to the front layer, or you can go forward a few layers. If you don't want him to quite be on the top, but you want him to be in front of something and then something in front of it, you can just hit go forward one or go backward one, and you hit go back to back layer. Yeah, and I'll tell you more about these things later. Now on to sounds. If I go up here to sounds, you can do a few things. You can search a sound, record a sound, or hit a surprise sound. I'm just gonna hit surprise. See guitar. Nice. Now, and then upload sound. You can upload sprites, backdrops, sounds, and costumes. You can even upload code, but I'll talk about that maybe later, maybe I won't talk about it. But as you can see, the only sound we have here is meow. That was really loud. But so let me go through all these. Play sound, meow until done. It'll just play it until it's done. So this is interesting. So if I say move 10 steps, when it says play sound until done, then it'll wait until the sound's done and then go to the next thing. Yeah, as you can see. But if you just go to the thing, play start sound and not until done, then it'll do the normal thing. Yeah, that's kind of loud. It'll just do it. So, and this is just to stop the sounds. So, as you can see, you hear it for a second. Change pitch is basically meaning when I hit start sound, if I change pitch by 10, I know that's really loud, but if I hit negative 10, yeah. So now, clear sound effects is just with the pitches, the change and set, it will bring it back to the normal. Change volume, and then set volume. Basically, you know how that's been really loud? So let's set it to 50, and now let's try the meow sound. Let's set this one first. Let's set it to 25. And you see it's not as loud. So yeah, and I'll talk about this later. So now events. This is where some stuff gets interesting. Now with obviously we know the when flag is clicked, but when space is pressed, you can change it to any of these buttons and it'll do something. Like if I press, this is how you can make games where you move around. If I press up arrow, then change Y. Yep, change Y by 10. And so whenever I click up, it will go up. And then I can do the same for down by duplicating this by right clicking and then clicking duplicate, and then hit down arrow and then negative 10. Now I can go up and down, and yeah, and then you can do left and right with change X, And yep, you can have all that. And so now when the sprite is clicked, let's just say we want to play sound meow. Now whenever you click him, he'll say meow, which is cool. Now, when backdrop switches to backdrop 1. So basically, if we switch it to this one, and then we'll say meow. And then we will do, say, let's just make a quick small scenario. Say, let's go to the ball game. Now, when he says, let's go to the ball game, we'll hit switch, next backdrop. No, we'll do it so that it'll start at backdrop 1, and then it will go to baseball 1. Let's go to the ball game. So then when it switches to this, when backdrop switches to baseball 1, start sound meow. Cool scenario. Oh, costume, yeah. Let's switch it to backdrop. There we go. And yeah. So let's keep going. When loudness is 10, this is basically, it's not when the in-game is loud, it's when you are loud. So some people make games where, like, let's do this. Let's make a scenario. So let's say when loudness is 10, say we'll make it 1 second. Let's make it 0. Alright, so now when loudness, let's make it so that when loudness is 10, whenever I say something, yeah, so there we go. And so now let's just put this back. And when I receive message, so basically messages, if I click message, then I just say something like meow. So when I click meow, when I receive meow, so now when flag is clicked, broadcast message meow after say I'm tired for 2 seconds. It will broadcast meow. When I receive meow, then play sound meow. I'm tired. And then they meow, which is pretty cool. Now, that's basically all with that. Now on to control. Now, here's where some interesting stuff happens. Wait. So, wait is basically it'll wait a few seconds and then, so look, it'll wait 1 second and then it'll say meow. There you go. Now, on to the next thing, repeat. This will repeat things 10 times. So now let's say, or how many times you put in meow until done. We'll put 3. So it'll play sound meow until done, repeat it again, and then repeat it again. And then if you want it to spread out a little bit, you can put wait. I'd say 0.2 seconds, and it'll repeat that code 3 times. Now, forever. This will repeat it forever. Now, I can do this. Play sound meow until done, and then wait. Oh, let me just put this in there. Play sound meow until done, and then wait 0.2 seconds. Just like the code we had before in the repeat, but in the forever. Now, as you can tell, it repeats it forever. It repeats it forever. So that's cool. Now, if then. So if it's telling basically we need to go to operators for this. Now it's kind of a little tidbit toward operators, but let's just say if, and then now we're going to these circle things down here. If size equals 200, not 2000. If size equals 200, then play sound meow. Start sound meow, and then we'll put this in a forever loop, because if we don't put it in a forever loop, then it'll only check for it one time when flag is clicked and then never check it again. But if we click it forever, then it'll forever check if it does it. So now we'll hit wait 1 second, and then we'll wait 1 second, and then we'll set size or set size. Set size. Set size to 200. Now, as you can see, since it's a forever loop, it'll always start it. So I'd say instead of start sound it, I would say play sound until done, and then wait 0.1 second. Wait 0.2 seconds. Hold on. Alrighty. Let's set size to 100. When we first start, then it'll wait 1 second, and boom. If you want this to only repeat one time, we'll get into that, so we'll just put it off to the side for now. Now, if then else. So basically, I'm not really going to go into too much like putting blocks together with this one, but let's say let's just say if size is 200, then play sound meow, or else. So basically, else means or else. So basically, if it's not 200, if it is 200, then it will play meow. But if it's not, then it will do whatever you put in here. So, yeah. Now, wait until. Basically, now, here's something. Instead of waiting for if, and then it'll play it forever, let's just put the scenario as set size to 100, and then wait until size equals 200, and then play sound meow. And it'll only do it one time, which is good. But there is still one more thing that I can do with this. Alright, so now repeat until. So now this means that if this is in here, then it'll play sound meow for until done, until the size is 200. So if I put this in here, oh yeah, because it comes after the code, which is not what we want, so we'll put it before the code. Oh, okay. Repeat until size equals 200, which it should play this sound, but it's only going to. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. If I just put it in here. Okay, so I know what's going on here. So it's repeating this forever. So let's make 2 flags. Put this one here, and put this one here. And then it'll stop. So there is one more thing that we can make in this scenario. I know, it's a lot of things. Let me get that sound back. Play sound meow till done. And now let's go to the last, no, not last thing. Stop. And so basically this is meaning, let's go here. Set size, blah, 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 blah. If, we'll have the forever if thing, so that it'll go on forever, but if size equals 200, play meow until done, and then stop all, which will stop it after. If you press stop all, it'll stop every single code in the entire game that you just made. But if you this sprite or other scripts in this sprite, then so if I just click this script, then every other script should work except for this one. But if you click all other scripts in this sprite, then every script that's in this sprite will stop. Or if you just press stop all, then it'll stop every single code in every single sprite. So yes, so let's just try this out. And then it'll only do it one time. So yes, now we're done with this. Now, clones. When I start as clone, and then create clone, and then delete clone. Basically, let's do this. Let's set this size to 100. So now once flag is clicked, create clone of myself. And now we will make it so that the clone will wait a few seconds. We'll create clone, and then the clone will go. So when we flag is clicked, the clone will be created, but it won't go anywhere. It won't do anything because we have to do it with this. So now move 10 steps. We'll do it We'll do it like 30 steps. Now, boom, boom, and now there's a clone. And now let's just, instead of moving 30 steps, let's go 50 steps. Now let's try 100 steps. There we go. Now we have 2 clones. Now we can do wait. We can do wait, let's say 2 seconds, and then but no, actually, let's say 1.5 seconds. You can put decimals, the decimal numbers in there. If you press that and then press delete clone, then yep, delete this clone. Then it will delete the clone, and then we'll put this in a forever loop. This, and then we'll wait, instead of 0.5 seconds, we'll wait 2 seconds. So then we can do this. It'll create the clone first, stop, and it'll delete, and then create it again. So yeah, then you can create something like that. So yep, that's all with clones. Now we're on to sensing. Now we're gonna need to go back into control for this one. And now if then. So let's put a forever loop in there too. Let's say if touching mouse pointer, then saying meow until done. So now whenever it clicks the mouse, whenever the mouse pointer is touching it, it'll say it. You can do this with other sprites as well, or Edge. So yeah, let's stop this. And now, there's more things. Let's take this out. If touching color. Now, this only works with other sprites, but if color, well, let's do touching color and then touching, or color is touching and then another color. So now, if it's touching a specific color of another sprite, then it will do whatever it's in the if loop, if thing. But if a certain color is touching a certain color, let's say if orange is touching blue, then it will do something. Now, distance to mouse pointer, or any other sprite, is basically let's put the operators in an equal. Now let's do this. If distance to mouse pointer equals 30, then it'll do this. Ever this. Now, as you can see, it's not really working, so let's put it to a higher value, 100. Well, it doesn't seem to be working. But you get what it'll do. When it's a certain distance away from the certain thing, then something will happen. Now, let's do a, okay, now this one is ask and then wait. So then it'll ask something like what's your name? And then it'll ask it, and then you'll say it down here. Oh, that's not how you spell my name. Tyler. And then there's a few things that you can do this with answer. Then let's do this. So let's make a variable. I'll tell you guys more about variables later, but let's just say name. I'll tell you more about variables later. Let's just set name to nothing, and then set name to answer. This basically means what's your name, and then I say Tyler, and then boom, then my name up here changes to Tyler. I will tell you guys more about variables later once we get to there. Yes, I'd like to delete that. So now, yeah, that's basically all with the asks. If certain key is pressed, then let's say if M is pressed, then meow, then it'll play the sound meow, M. Now when I press M, So it's basically like the when space is pressed, but it'll only do it when you want it to do it, which is right here. Instead of just doing it every single time, you can make it so that if an if else block, and do everything else with that. So yeah, I'd say that it's pretty useful. Mouse down, meaning when the mouse is when the mouse is clicked. So when it doesn't even matter if I'm touching it. When if I even like put my mouse down, then it will sense that and then do the thing. Now, mouse X and Y, we'll talk about those later. Loudness and timer, current year, username, and days since. Then we'll talk about this later. But let's go to set mode draggable. So when flag is clicked, let's just set mode to draggable. Now, when it's in the thing, we can drag it around. Let's go to 0, 0. Now you can drag it around. But we're not worried about that right now. Reset timer. So basically, if you press the little boxes next to these, then it'll tell you everything. So, yeah. As you can see, it shows us how loud we are here. I guess I can never get to 0. I guess I'm just living in a loud house. But anyway, timer. It tells you how long it's been since you've clicked the flag. And then if you click reset timer, let's just say if mouse is down, then play sound meow, and then reset timer. And then it'll reset the timer. Not really sure what you'd use it for, but it's still cool. We'll talk about these later. Now, operators. Now, you would need now all these operators can help. So the ones that I have that I don't know what happens, what to do with them is join, letter of, length of, contains, mod, round, and abs of. I don't know what these blocks do. If you want to know, then you can look up a tutorial. But I know what all these blocks do. So basically, these pluses will add the two numbers or variables together, and these will subtract them, multiply them, and then divide them. And pick random. So basically, if you want it to wait, but you don't want it to set to a specific time, then you can pick random, so that it'll randomly pick between two things, and then it'll randomly pick it, and then it will do it. So if it says wait, pick random 1 to 10 seconds, then it'll wait 1 to 10. It'll pick a random number between 1 and 10, and then wait that many seconds, which I think is cool. Now these blocks will help a lot. Something equals 50. You can if something equals 50. So you use variables with these. I'll teach you about variables because we're almost there. So this will be it, and then this will be if a certain variable is bigger than a number, and then if a certain variable is lower than a number. You can also put two variables together to see if a variable equals a variable, then to do something. If a variable is bigger than a certain variable, or if a variable is smaller than a variable, it's all confusing. Then you can put and then put two of these things together, and you can just if it's like triangular, like if we go to sensing, if touching mouse pointer and a certain variable is bigger than this, then it'll do something. So, and then you can do it with instead of an and, you can do or not. If you do a not, then you can do this. And you can even put these in circle things. So that's cool. All right. And now on to variables. Now, variables is a good way to make a game, like a very good way. Variables, like you can do variables like name, like I said earlier, and then you can put your name anywhere, or you can just take it off so it's invisible, but it'll still happen. And then you can do a lot of things like values and all that stuff. And then make a block is basically you would take a block and then you would say, let's just say move back and forth. Oh, crap, I can't spell. Move back and forth. Basically, then we'll move back and forth, and then put a forever loop around the row. So basically what we can do with this is, and then since it doesn't know what this block means, you have to define it, which is in here. Which basically meaning that you can put multiple blocks into a single block. So basically, multiple blocks can make up a single block that you can put in here so that it's more organized. So let's just say move back and forth is glide to, and then let's say 500, and then glide. Wait, actually, hold on. If I go to 500 here, never mind, not 500. If I glide to, let's say 150, and then glide to negative 150, and then if I put these two together, put them in here, then if I start at 0, 0, go to 0, 0, then it will go back and forth. There you go. And now you can go back and forth because it's in a forever loop. But we don't really want this, so yes, we want to get rid of all these blocks. Alright, and now, since we know almost all of these, except for a few blocks, let's try to make some sort of game out of it. Let's make a game where you can move around. Let's start with a game that you can move around. So here's a few tips. So when flag is clicked, we'll do it so that we'll put a few if blocks. Now we'll put one big forever block, and then 4 ifs. 2, 3, 4. Now let's put if key is pressed. We'll put these in each of these. Now if up key, down, right, and then left. So now now we can put motion, change x by 10 will be right, yeah, right. Then if I duplicate this and then put it negative 10, and now let's change y by 10, and then change it by negative 10. All right, now, boom, we can move around, which is really cool. Now we can do another one so that we always start at 0, 0. Great. Now we can move around, and then when we click the flag, we'll go back to the original position. Cool. Now let's make a game where you move away from an enemy that tries to follow you. Now what the enemy, I'd say let's do a dog, since cats are afraid of dogs. So let's do dog. Now we have a dog. Now let's make him a little bit smaller. I'll say 75. So he's about the same size as the cat. We'll make him a little bit bigger. So I'd say like 83. And yeah, he's about the same size as the cat. Now we'll make him start. We'll make the cat start here, and the dog start here. Now let's make it so that the cat starts y position of 0, and then negative 135, and then we'll make him this guy 0, and then positive 139. Okay. 39. And so now they start at the same y, which is 0, but then different things. So now let's make this negative 139. And something cool is you can take a block of code and then drag it into a different sprite, and then it'll be there. So now instead of negative, it'll start at normal 139. So now to make the enemy, we want to go here, and then we'll make his AI, which will be when flag is clicked. when flag is clicked, forever, we'll make it a forever loop. And then we'll say not go to, glide. And then instead of 1 second, we'll say glide from a random of 1 second to 1.5 seconds. So that sometimes he'll be fast, sometimes you'll be slow, and sometimes you'll be slightly faster. Instead of random position, we'll say towards sprite 1. So he'll always try to go to sprite 1, but so you'll have to move out of the way. Now, let's say that we want him to increase every, 30 seconds. So instead of wait random, we'll make a variable. AI speed. Now the AI speed will make him will not show it. So now glide AI speed. Now we'll make it so that when flag is clicked, set AI speed to a random of 1 to 1.5. Perfect. Now, and then we'll have it so that it will we'll put this in a forever loop, change AI speed by 1 to 1.5, and then we'll have a wait so that it'll wait. Let's say every 10 seconds it'll change. So now, so now it will always try to come toward our character, and it will go slightly faster every time. No, every 10 seconds. So let's wait 10 seconds for him to get faster. Actually, let's see here. If he glides, let's say if we glide 10 seconds, will it go slower? Yes, it will go slower, which is a problem. We don't want it to go that fast. We don't want it to go that slow. I was just going in. So let's do negative to negative 1.5 so that it will always get faster. So that, yeah. And then let's just make it 1 to 2 seconds. So now let's make it so that you can fail. So now let's do when flag is clicked forever if touching sprite 1. If touching sprite 1, then if touching sprite 1, then it will broadcast message. Let's say the message will be game over. So now it'll go game over. Now let's make a new sprite. This time we'll paint it. And now we can go to text. I will switch it to red. And then I'll make it sans serif. And then it will say game over. And then with the exclamation. Now we could edit it and make it bigger. And then make it so it goes to the middle. And we'll make it so that it goes 0. 0. Now, we don't need to make it bigger here. We can just increase the size here. So we can make it 300. Nope, that's too big. Now let's make it 150. And then, we're almost there. Maybe 30. Yep, that's good. And now it'll say game over. So we don't want it to say game over right away. So we'll say when flag is clicked, hide. So that when it looks, we'll say hide. So that when flag is clicked, it will not appear. Now we'll make it so that when I receive game over, then it will show. It will show. Where's show? Down here. Boom. And then stop all. And then we will say here, when I receive game over, hide. Where's hide? Oh yeah, it's in here. Hide. And then I'll do this, I'll bring it over to the dog. And then boom. Now we should have a functional game. Now we have to run away from the dog, and we can decrease or increase the speed of the cat. Oh, see, got a game over, and we have to press the flag again. We might have to press. Oh yeah, we never made it so that these guys would reappear after. So let's make it, and then looks, show, and then we'll do it for the cat too. Now, whenever the flag's clicked, they will come back. Boom, and then boom. Now we have a game. So if you want to increase or decrease the how fast the cat goes, you can just change these. If I change it to 5 for up, then it'll move slower up. But if I change it to 15, then it'll move faster up. And so yes, so I'll just put it back to 10. And then, yeah, here's the game that my example game, but people have made so many different types of games. I've made a few. Oh my gosh. All right, so I've made a few different types of games too. Which there's the game over. So I made a few different types of games too, which I will have the link to my Scratch page in the description where you can play some of my games. So let's just name this game um let's just name it Dog Run. So you would run away from the dog. Great name. So now the dog will always try to chase the cat, and the cat will try to run away. Oh, I don't know how we got a game over there. I think it's because of the dog's speed. I think we should just make it so that instead of -1, it'll go negative 0.1 to -0.5. No, to -0.3. Now, instead of -0.1, we'll do -0.1 and then -0.3. So that, boom. Now, boom, we have a game. And, it's a pretty cool game. And, I'm probably not going to post it, though. But, still, it is a pretty good game. Actually, you know what? I will post it. Because it seems pretty cool. So now, you would click share if you want to share it. Instructions, you would say, use arrow keys to run from the dog. Now we have to fix errors from the dog. And now, made by Tyler CKB. Now, boom. Now we have our dog run. And I'll add it to my studio, Tyler's Games. Now people can comment on it, and if you don't want them to comment on it, you can just click comment off. You'll see how many people have viewed your game, remixed your game, favorited your game, or liked your game. And you would press this to go to full screen, and then click flag to start, and boom. Now we have a game. Now we'll hit game over, and boom. You can even add sound to it if you want. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video and think you're gonna make some games, then hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this. And I'd like to see how your guys's I didn't mean to click that. I'd like to see your guys's games that you made. So if you make a game in Scratch using this thanks to this tutorial, then please send me the games. I'd like to see your guys's creativity and the type of games that you guys make. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.